What is up, everybody? It is your girl Star for episode 10 of my Stargazer.Sports podcast here on the Blast Music 247 YouTube platform. What's up, Nisi? Yes, Victory Monday, guys. Victory Monday. It's always great to wake up and smell just a fresh Cowboys win and Cowboys beat down. Because it's good to win, but it's even better to blow your opponent out. And that's exactly what we did against Bill Belichick's Patriots. But before we get into the content, I just want to give a special thanks to the Blast Music 247 YouTube platform who has given me this platform to do this Stargazer Sports podcast every single Monday. It has been a real journey and blessing to be able to collab with these guys and to be able to put out content for Cowboys Nation every Monday. Hope you guys like my new little setup that I got going on. Y'all know that I had to rock with y'all without a computer or a laptop for almost a month and a half, but finally I'm back rolling. If y'all tuned into the show with Mickey and I on Friday of last week, y'all already have seen this platform, but I did change a little bit of the stuff. But other than that, guys, y'all have all my social medias there to the right. Please follow me on all of my social medias. Please also you will see down below my banner saying donate to my channel. Please through Cash App, which is $StargazerSports. It would be greatly appreciated if you guys did that and help me out. And I always try to give a special shout out to those who donate to me during the show, just to let you know that I really appreciate it from the bottom of my heart. But I'm so glad to be here with you guys tonight to talk about our beatdown of Bill Belichick, Coach Hood of Patriots, guys. What a phenomenal win it was. But please, before we get into it, please share this video, guys. Please like the video. If you're tuning in, please like, and I'm going to try to keep saying that throughout the podcast because the likes just help more people be able to see and view my content, guys. I'm really working hard to put out content for you guys on Monday. What's up, Silver? I'm glad to see you in the chat. I putting out content Monday, Wednesdays, and Thursdays, guys, and it will really help me. I'm right on the cusp of reaching 100 subscribers. I think I'm at 93. So if you guys, whatever y'all can do to help Star reach 100 subscribers by the end of the week, that would be great. I only need 7 more to finally reach that 100 subscriber mark. What's up, Brian? Glad to see you in the chat tonight. Really appreciate you being in the chat tonight. So you guys, please help the Stargazer Sports YouTube channel grow, guys. I work so hard putting out content, like I said, not only on YouTube, but on all my social media platforms. And it's for you guys. It's for Cowboys Nation. So please help me grow. Please like this video, please share it, and please subscribe to my YouTube channel. That would be so greatly appreciated. But without further ado, we can go ahead and get into this content today, which is Dallas Cowboys versus the New England Patriots Victory Monday. And if you see here to the right, we have Coach Hood just looking in dismay because this was a 35-point loss for Bill Belichick, and this was the largest margin he has lost by in his 29-year career as a head coach. Yes, y'all heard that right. This was the Dallas Cowboys. The Dallas Cowboys, who just last week everybody was saying that we sucked and we're frauds and same old Cowboys, yada, yada, yada. But Dallas Cowboys make history once again. We make history by giving Bill Belichick the biggest loss of his head coaching career. We had some Eagles content creators just saying last week, they struggled against the Patriots because Bill Belichick is just this great defensive mind, which he is. But they struggled. We blew them out. That's all I'm saying. So, and not only did the Eagles struggle, but so did the Dolphins, and the Jets lost to them. So don't let anybody steal y'all's victory Monday today, because as y'all know, every single time we win a game, it doesn't matter, and every single time we lose a game, it's the end of the world and we suck. So that's how they're always painted, guys. But that's okay, because we Cowboys Nation, we always gonna rock for our team no matter what, right? And y'all know that Stargazer Sports is created to bring confidence and encouragement to the Cowboys Nation, so that we always are getting the real about our team and not the narratives that they like to say about our team that are often false. Okay? So let's get into it. So I'm calling this we had a complimentary beatdown. That's what I'm calling it. A complimentary beatdown. Dallas Cowboys, we bounced back. As I already said, we gave Bill Belichick the largest beatdown of his career. And also over the last 3 years, the Cowboys are now 9-1 after a loss. So I'm going to say it again. Over the last 3 years, the Cowboys are now 9-1 after a loss. And so I say, what does this mean? This means that we have one of the most, if not the most, resilient team in the NFL. We take our losses personal, and we respond often in complete dominance. And shout out to my guy, _STX Mario on Twitter. Anytime I use or refer to someone else's content, I'm gonna always put their information so that you guys can go follow them on Twitter. If you guys aren't following Mario, please go do so. And if y'all follow him, shout him out and let him know Star used his content today. So hopefully he gets some followers. But anyway, this is Mike McCarthy's Cowboys after each of their last 5 losses. 24-6 win versus Detroit. 40-3 win versus Minnesota. These are the wins from last year. 40-34 win versus Philly, right? That was after we lost to the Jags. Then we have 31-14 win after we lost to the Washington Commanders for the last game of the year. And then now a 38-3 win versus New England. Just about, actually all of those I would consider a blowout. That's a blowout in complete dominance. So it just shows you that anytime that we face a loss, guys, this is why I was not concerned that we would lose the game at all versus the Patriots. Now, history would tell us that it was going to be a blowout, but I'm not going to ever just say we're going to just blow out Bill Belichick's defense, okay? Because he is Coach Bill Belichick, right? So this is a man that has how many Super Bowls? 7, 8 Super Bowls, right? So we're not ever going to disrespect him. And yes, he has struggled since Tom Brady left. But the year that Tom Brady left, his team still went 10-6, and he went to the playoffs with Mac Jones. The quarterback that now everybody is saying he's not a real NFL quarterback and he sucks. When Mac Jones has been doing pretty good, he just didn't do pretty good against the Cowboys. And that shows you who we are. Our win, they try to make our win yesterday more about how bad the Patriots are, how much they suck, and Bill Belichick now needs to get fired. So they're making it all about how the Patriots suck instead of recognizing that the Dallas Cowboys are just a damn good team. That's it. We're a very good team, but that doesn't fit the media's narrative, right? They can't ever acknowledge and say that we're a good team. So instead of acknowledging what we do, they always just put it back on our opponents and say, well, our opponents suck. That's the only reason. That's the only way that we beat them, because our opponents are terrible. So, but don't believe the hype, guys, please. y'all got some water. Y'all drinking tonight. It's Monday night. But if you're drinking, take a sip. No judgment here for sure. All right. So let's go ahead and get into the next slide. So defense returns back to doomsday defense. Thank the Lord, because I don't know what happened last week. I'm attributing last week's defensive performance to just really taking it hard that we lost Trey. I did not get to see until after Monday night show what Micah had said about the loss of Trey, also Dan Quinn. And so I realized that, these are professionals, right, guys? They get paid millions of dollars to do their jobs, but also we do have to recognize that these players are human beings. And I think, the loss of Trey just affected them mentally, morale-wise, and they really wanted to win. But when you try too hard, especially in a team sport, you end up trying to do someone else's job, and then you just look terrible. And I think that's just what happened last week. I think we just kept trying like way too hard, and people were playing hero ball. People were just undisciplined, trying to chase sacks and stuff like that. So I think that's what happened. But anyway, let's here are some key notes that I have from this week. So the linebackers improved significantly, right? So I said both LVE, sorry, that's a misspelling, guys, but it's supposed to be both LVE and Clark played with great gap integrity, no hero ball, no hesitation. That was the issue last week when you revealed the all 22 film. Clark, he was playing hero ball, where he was just going all out of his gaps, going to where he thought the play was going to go, instead of staying in his gap, which was allowing cutback lanes. And then LVE, he was seeing the plays, but he was just hesitating. I mean, multiple times LVE's right there, and he's just hesitating. He's not making the play quick enough, which was allowing those guards to get their hands on him. Okay, but both of them played a lot better this week, and we're going to show some clips of those guys. V, you can show those clips for us that I had with LVE and Clark. I think both of these clips were put on X or Twitter by Patrick No-C Walker, who obviously works for Dallas Cowboys, I believe.com, and puts out a lot of great content. Y'all follow him because he always has great content, observations of the games, and so on. And according to Pro Football Focus, Clark had the highest grade against the run for our entire defense. So, and LVE led the team in tackles, and the second was Clark. I think Clark and Donovan Wilson were tied for tackle. So they both just did a way better job. And it just showed us that when these guys do it's not their capabilities. They are capable. They're highly capable of being very good, dominant, starting NFL linebackers, but they have to. A part of that is not just physical capability, but mental capability, right? If they stay to their assignments, play discipline, right, they can do what they need to do so that we can dominate, so that we can win. But when they're when they're hesitating, second guessing, playing hero ball, that's when they get in trouble. Okay, V, do you have those clips of the linebackers? Let me see. Here we go. Okay, so we'll see here. Y'all saw there? Clark just knifes right on through. And we're playing that. Luckily, the clip is showing you Clark knifing right on through and making that tackle for loss. And that's what you need from your linebackers. You need them to read and react and fill those gaps and make the plays. Shout out to our defensive tackles as well, because if it wasn't for them attacking their keys, right, and keeping those guys clean, then Clark may have, one of those guards may have been able to get their hands on Clark. But because Clark played fast, he saw the play, he went through his gap that was open, he made the play. Thus, it was a tackle for loss. And then you could show us that other clip of LVE. Here's a good clip of LVE making the play. So you see there, Jonathan Hankins keeping LVE clean. Rewind. This is great film. Shout out to Patrick Nosey Walker on Twitter. You guys, please go follow him. But you see that LVE, and you see that guard trying to. You see what I'm saying? See that guard? He was there. He tried to get his hands on LVE, but LVE was too quick because he saw the play. That's what we need, and that's what we're really going to need next week to completely dominate San Fran defensively like we did in the playoffs, right? Also, we forced 3 turnovers, right? Dante Fowler showed up with a big forced fumble on Mac Jones, which led to a fumble recovery by LVE and a touchdown, right? And so I was joking, talking to my girl Mickey about how she was so nervous. She thought LVE was going to get caught and he was going to even drop the ball. But clearly LVE was locked in yesterday. And it's nothing that sneezes at all. As my guy Law says. Shout out to Law Nation. But it's nothing to sneeze at when someone recovers a ball for a touchdown. That's high IQ. That means that you're aware, right? You're staying around the ball, and then you're picking the ball in a split second and you're heading straight toward the end zone, right? So anything could have happened. LVE could have got pushed, and then get the ball. He could have accidentally dropped it or tried to grab it. Anything could have happened, but because he was so locked in, he was able to return that fumble for a touchdown. So shout out to the Wolf Hunter, right? Shout out to my young guy, Damone Clark, who really showed up and showed out yesterday. But talking about Dante, right? And Dante, when he made that forced fumble, right, Mac Jones had escaped the pocket and was coming outside the pocket. He didn't even see Dante Fowler. That was a pure effort play in forced fumble that he got on Mac Jones. I wish I had a clip of it, but I don't. You guys have to go back and rewatch the game. But that was an effort play, right? He literally chased Mac Jones from behind and got that ball out. So shout out to Dante Fowler. What a phenomenal play for our second string defensive edge. And then we have Deron Bland, who didn't get one, but 2 freaking interceptions. Deron Bland looked like Deron Diggs out there. Actually, no, he looked like Deron Bland because Deron Bland now leads the NFL since 2022 in interceptions. That's right. Deron Bland, not Patrick Surtain, not who else, y'all? Who y'all say? Sauce Gardner. Not who's else is good, Tre'Davious White, Asante Samuel Jr., Darius Slade. Not any of those guys. Not any of those big names, Jair Alexander. Not any of those big names, but Deron freaking Bland, our 5th round pick from last year, now leads the NFL since 2022 in interceptions. So he is just exceptional and phenomenal. And I think this is why you saw a lot of broken hearts for Trayvon Diggs for the fact that we knew he was playing like he was going to have the best year of his career, which is hard to top because, I mean, the man has just been playing phenomenal for the past 2 years, right? But we thought he was going to even play better than what we've seen him in the past, and then he ended up getting a season-ending injury. But reason why people were not in full panic mode is because we knew what Deron Bland was able to display as a rookie and only playing half of the season last year. After J. Lou went down is when Deron Bland got his chance to be in the starting lineup. So shout out to Deron Bland for just really being locked in yesterday and really making plays for this team. And that's what we need, guys. We really need this team. If we can play complementary football game in and game out, if everybody can play to their true selves and their true identity, our defense playing fast, getting turnovers, right, being physical. If you watch Dan Quinn's press conference today, that he said, yesterday is who we are. What we displayed yesterday is who we are. If our defense can show up like that every week, right, there's no reason that we won't win games, and there's no reason why we won't blow people out. Well, we have to have the defense show up like we know they can show up. Also, another important thing, they forced Mac Jones to have a passer rating of 20 when under pressure. I believe this is according to Pro Football Focus. All right. And I put here, Micah and D-Law are the best edge tandem in the league. Sacks don't tell the whole story. And here I have to the right from my guy, John Owning. John Owning is a PFF writer, expert guy. So I think I've put out his content before, but I follow him. He always has great content, great stats and stuff like that. So I definitely pull from his Twitter or his X page a lot. But DeMarcus Lawrence he currently possesses the second highest season-long grade among edges, only behind Nick Bosa. And I believe, I don't have it here, but D-Law is also top 5 in pressure rate as well as a defensive edge. Whoever told y'all that because DeMarcus Lawrence don't get sacks, that he's not one of the best top NFL edges, I don't know. They smoking crack. I don't know if they can't see or they blind. DeMarcus Lawrence is first of all, he's the best edge period against the run. But I'm putting this to show that, like, it's not just him against the run. Like, his pressure rate, his pass deflections, turnover, all those things, right? DeMarcus Lawrence is at top of the league. Top of the league. And don't let anybody tell you differently just because he might, this guy has more sacks. It's so much more to a defensive edge than sacks, guys. And then let's go over here and look at here, Micah Parsons. This is per Next Gen Stats. So Micah generated 9 pressures in our victory over the Patriots yesterday, right? This is his 8th consecutive game with 5 plus pressures. This is the second longest streak in Next Gen Stats era, right? Carson leads the NFL in nearly every pass rushing metric this season, right? So even though Micah Parsons didn't get a sack last week, he didn't get a sack yesterday, his presence was felt. It was because of the pressure that Mac Jones was getting, right, that knocked him off his key, that forced him to make those 2 across the field throws, that one of them ended up being returned for a pick 6. It was because of the pressure. It was because of the pressure that he had to escape the pocket, and then Dante Fowler was able to get that forced fumble on him. So Micah Parsons is definitely, and I will even put myself, I don't know if the right word is backtrack, but I'll excuse myself because I was a little bit hard on Micah. But Micah did not have a great game last week. But I still want to just acknowledge who Micah Parsons is. Micah Parsons is a top player in this league. Not defensive player, but player, period. And if he keeps this up, I think he'll definitely be in the MVP conversation. Now, will he win it? We don't know, because most likely they only give that award to quarterbacks now. But if we look at Micah Parsons has 29 pressures already for the 2023 season. That's number 1. 27.4% pressure rate. That's number 1 in the league. Positive rush rate. That's number 1 in the which is 75.2%. That's number 1 in the league. Average pressure probability, 24.8. That's number one in the league. And average peak pressure probability, that is 48.1, number one in the league. And a lot of the reasons why these other guys, y'all see them getting more sacks, is because they don't get double teamed like Micah. Micah is constantly getting double and triple teamed. Micah is getting TJ Watt has more sacks, but Micah gets double teamed and triple teamed more than TJ Watt. It just shows how much this kid really impacts games, and it's because of how much he's triple and double teamed that you allow guys like Dante Fowler, Dorrance Armstrong, our defensive tackle Oso Digizua, who else? Chauncey Golston. You allow those guys to go there and get those sacks because so much focus of an offensive coordinator is, where is Micah? We need to protect our quarterback from Micah. And even with that, it doesn't really work out. It never really works out. Micah was triple team yesterday and still had 9 pressures. I mean, the man he's virtually unblockable. You know what I'm saying? Like he's just an animal, and we saw that he put in the work for that this offseason with all his training as well as his boxing. Then we'll go ahead and move into the offense continues to move at will continuously. And I wanted to I put that, guys, because I think some people have gotten confused because of our lack of red zone efficiency. That we have some people saying, Kellen Moore's offense was better. And I'm here to tell y'all that that's a lie. That's 100% a lie. Now, Kellen's offense might have scored more, but Kellen's offense was not better. Want to know why Kellen's offense was not better? Because Kellen's offense was his high-scoring, high-flying offense, right? That constantly put our defense back on the field. The way Mike McCarthy plays, we are number one in plays ran. We're number one in moving the ball up and down the field in the league, just so y'all know. Number one. And we're number one on first down as well, if y'all don't know that. How many times do we see Kellen Moore get 3 and outs? How many times? Especially against harder opponents, especially when the game is on the line and we need to move the ball. How many times do we see Kellen Moore not be able to move the ball at all? Plenty of times. 2 games that come to mind: the Raiders game on Thanksgiving in 2021. When we went into overtime, couldn't move the ball. Playing against San Fran last year in the playoffs. We had the chance to go down and score and win the game in the last couple of minutes, and Kellen Moore could not move the ball. So just think about that. For all y'all who say, the offense has regressed because we're not scoring as much in the red zone. Guys, we wasn't even able to get to the red zone with Kellen Moore. And on top of that, as I said, on top of that, the high-flying scoring offense constantly kept our defense on the field. His inability to move the ball kept our defense on the field. The way Mike McCarthy plays, we are playing to protect our defense. And he said that at the beginning of in the offseason, he said that. I want to protect my defense. I want to rest my defense. And that's exactly what Mike McCarthy is doing. So let's go ahead and move on to my specific notes. Dak has a phenomenal day at the office, right? He was the second highest graded quarterback in week 4 per Pro Football Focus, right? And then I have here surgical Dak. Dak is one of the most, when the man is locked in, and he's actually been locked in all, this entire 2023 season. He's been locked in. Sometimes his stats don't reflect that because of drop balls, efficiency issues, and stuff like that. Penalties last week, obviously, but Dak went 28 of 34 yesterday. That only missing 6 passes. I have right here to the left, shout out to Law Nation with his next gen chart. You can see the green is all the completions, showing your quarterback can sling it all around the field any way he wants, right? There's no throws that Dak Prescott cannot make. Okay, then we're moving on to, so he went 28 to 34, 264 yards, a touchdown. Should have been 2 touchdowns because in the red zone, he threw that perfect pass to Shoemaker who could not come up with it. So he should have had 2 touchdowns, but that's okay with 108.5 passer rating. Your quarterback cannot play any better than that. Then we look at this chart. Let's go ahead and read this. What is next gen saying? Dak Prescott completed plus 10.7% of his passes over expected in week 4. His 7th game with a CPOE over 10% in a game over the last 2 seasons. No other quarterback has more than 5 games with a CPOE over 10% since 2022. Only 2 have more than 3. And I'm pretty sure the other 2 would be Patrick Mahomes and I think Joe Burrow. This is why I say Dak Prescott is not, it's insulting to me to say Dak Prescott is a top 10 quarterback. That's insulting to me. I will give you, at this point, I'm not even giving you top 7. I will give you top 5. You know, if there's some guys that you want to put ahead of him, I don't agree with you, but I think top 5 is respectable. I think Dak Prescott is top 3 quarterback. Period. All the stats prove it. All the advanced metrics prove it. It's proven. We're talking about the individual player. We're not talking about playoff wins because playoff wins are team wins. We are talking about the individual player. Dak Prescott is a top 3 to 5 quarterback in this league. You really just can't spin it any other way, guys. And I've go back and watch my shows. I've done so many breakdowns. I've done the Dak versus Burrow debate. Dak, look at my Twitter. Dak versus Josh Allen debate. Dak versus Lamar Jackson. I've done all the debates. Go back and look at my content. I've done all the debates. Dak Prescott is top of the line in this league. He is not just a quarterback. That's insulting. I hate when coaches, a prior coach, prior player, whatever say that. Oh, he's a quarterback you can win with. Nah, he's not a quarterback. A quarterback you can win with is Jimmy Garoppolo, right? That's a quarterback you can win with. Matthew Stafford, that's a quarterback you can win with. Dak Prescott is not just a quarterback you can win with. Dak Prescott is premium, elite, top of the line quarterback in this league. Period. Then we will move on to Tyler Smith, right? Tyler Smith is having himself a Pro Bowl season. And I mean, the kid might be honestly, he might be on his way to an all-pro season. All-pro. He's number 1 rated guard through the first month of the season, according to Pro Football Focus. He has just been playing lights out. For a second time, I'm not going to show y'all. There are some clips you guys can see. I think if you look at either go to Patrick No.C. Walker or John Owning's Twitter, and I think they have some great clips of Tyler Smith and how he was able to dominate versus the Patriots. But, I mean, he played lights out versus the Patriots. And you know this kid missed the first 2 games of the season. This was only his 2nd game of the season versus the Patriots, and he did phenomenal. CeeDee Lamb gets his first touchdown of the season. Y'all know that the talking heads was saying, oh, Dak has touchdowns, but he doesn't have any touchdowns to wide receivers. Or there y'all go. Woo! Dak finally got his touchdown against. I don't know when that started mattering, but now it matters. But congratulations, CD gets his first touchdown of the season. I think it's going to be way more to come. He went for 4 of 6, got 4 catches yesterday of 6 targets, 36 yards. He also had a rush for 12 yards yesterday. So CD had a pretty good locked-in game. I think that's a pretty solid game. Obviously, there will be games where CD turns up more. He turned up against the Jets. He had over 100 yards. You know what I'm saying? So there will be games where it'll be CD's game, but this was a game more where Dak, and you can see all the different types of green. This is a game where Dak literally took what the defense gives them. No need to force balls, right? No need to force balls to anybody when you can just hit the open guy. And I think that's what Dak did. Michael Gallup continues to build on his great game last week. Right, he had a phenomenal. He was my player of the week last week on offense, and he comes in again with another locked-in game. 5 catches on 6 targets, 60 yards, right, 12 yards average, and then he was recorded the second best rate of separation for all wide receivers versus New England, only behind Turpin. So Michael Gallup has been fully locked in and becoming that reliable target that we once knew he was. I think it's just coming more to show us that it was an injury last year. It was not that Gallup had lost the capability. He just needed more time in rehab from that injury. And I think, from these 2 games that he's put together, he's showing that he is back. He is back to what he once was and the guy that we, once loved for his reliability. And then also I want to highlight the second-year players who have been putting it all together. Ferguson. Now, y'all know I was on the tight end's head that game 1 because it was not a good game. Granted, it was raining. I know it's raining, but it still was not a good game for my tight ends. Ferguson went 7 for 7. He was targeted 7 times. He caught out 7 balls. 77 yards, 11 yards average. That, I don't know you could have any better of a game from a tight end. That is phenomenal play from your tight end. He was also the most targeted and came up with every single target. So shout out to Ferguson, who's putting it together. Jalen Tolbert went 4 for 4 yesterday, 53 yards, 13.3 yards average. Those 2 players are really putting it together. Now, Ferguson, he had that down game in the first game, but Tolbert has been putting it together since preseason. And I really hope Mike, hope we can see a little bit more 4 wide receiver sets. He did get a few reps yesterday with the ones, and I was really grateful for that. I think Mike is going to really start getting him integrated in this offense because, why are we keeping weapons on the bench that we got? Like, let's use them. Now, he's not going to get as many snaps as CDE or Brandon Cooks, but let's get him involved. I want all of our weapons to get involved and get their shine and get their burn, right? The more weapons for Dak, the merrier. So just a great, phenomenal game for the offense. We'll talk some more about the red zone offense in the next slides, but I'd like to take a break here, Veep, and you can go ahead and do the last artist of the week. Veep, we can't hear you. I don't know if.
Mike was muted. Sorry about that, y'all. Good evening, everyone. Tonight's Last Artist is sponsored by the Lee Law Firm. If you are in the Dallas-Fort Worth area and you need some legal assistance, you can contact the Lee Law Firm. You can find them on Facebook, as well as there'll be a video after the video we're playing. This artist is Yamasani, and this is called Gratitude.
Do you know where you're from? You are a superstar, don't let them fool you now. Do you know who you are? Do you know where you're from? You are a superstar, don't let them fool you now. Pay homage to the one that never make promise that he can't keep. Praise to you, hands raised to you, I would never lie. No, I lie for safety. Spit aquatic and my logic is a problem for them demons following you can't see. Gentleman, a product of a great G, cause I did my goddess like I'm Shang-Chi. Put a ring, she ain't gotta thank me. Skin brown so they try to hate me. Menace to society, wait T, cause I got a higher vibe and great key. In the desert with my lions, all you do is lock us up. I provide the gate key. Strong mind, calm in a long line. Willpower at the height of 8-3. Down 2 when it come down to a clutch verse. I provide a late 3. Hammer MCs, you can't touch this. Like a far out away tree. Real ones I wanna link up and build with you. More than Kyrie calling KD. Learn from Elijah, Malcolm X, Louis Farrakhan, and Muhammad Ali. I remember growing up watching Mammy clean kitchen in a Tom and Jerry scene. Move on the low, make you marvel at my shape shifting like an honorary tree. 3 kings that are raised inside the kingdom. Guess it kinda made me. Praise to the most high, God is great. My response when you compliment me. She the one that gave it to you, better give it up. He the one that gave it to you, better give it up. Show appreciation for you, better live it up. Better give it up, gotta live it up. She the one that gave it to you, better give it up. He the one that gave it to you, better give it up. Show appreciation for you, better live it up. Better give it up, gotta live it up.
Do you know who you are? Do you know where you're from? You are a superstar, don't let them fool you now. Do you know who you are? Do you know where you're from? You are a superstar, don't let them fool you now.
Just trying to spread the good word, cause I heard it through the grapevine. Did you know you come from great minds? Did you know your DNA's 9? Did you know that there's a plan to keep your race locked up like Akon? Did you know your people battled on the stage different than the one from K-Shine? We was in the field, weapons in the shield, never hesitant to ref, and it was real. Gave to each other, never had to put it in a fine print section of a wheel. Bathed with each other, close up, soap suds up to the chest, it was a thrill. Stayed with each other, kept you stepping in protection, done with aggression, and we peeled.
Do you know who you are? Do you know where you're from? You are a superstar, don't let them fool you now. Do you know who you are? Do you know where you're from? You are a superstar, don't let them fool you now.
She the one that gave it to you, better give it up. He the one that gave it to you, better give it up. Show appreciation for you, better live it up. Better give it up, gotta live it up. She the one that gave it to you, better give it up. He the one that gave it to you, better give it up. Show appreciation for you, better live it up. Better give it up, gotta live it up. She the one that gave it to you, better give it up. Better give it up. Show appreciation for you, better live it up.
The Lee Law Firm.
The Lee Law Firm.
It is a law firm for those in the Dallas-Fort Worth area seeking a holistic approach to solving their legal matters. Just some of the legal services the firm provides. It's divorces, custody suits, child support, and adoptive child services, criminal defense, DUI defense, wills, trust, power of attorneys, and many, many more. You can contact the Lee Law Firm.
The Lee Law Firm.
And make sure that you say the word blast when you speak to the Lee Law Firm representatives and receive 10% discount on your initial retainer to hire the firm. Yes, and that artist once again was Yamasani with Gratitude. And if you are an independent artist or a spoken word poet or even an up-and-coming comedian looking for some exposure, you can go to blastmusic247.com and register for free. But Blast is also looking for the fans that love music. So go ahead and go to blastmusic247.com, register as a fan for free, and have access to hundreds of music. Blast, changing the industry one artist at a time. Back to you, Star.
Thank you, Veek. Okay, guys. So we will go ahead. Let's get into the last part here of the show. Okay, so y'all know I will do my offensive player of the game or offensive unit of the game. I don't know. That's another typo. It's supposed to be OG, but whatever. Okay, so my offensive player of the game is Dak Prescott. Y'all see him there doing his let's go that he does, when he scores and then kisses up to his mom. So Dak Prescott, I just went on a rant about how he was surgical Dak yesterday. Just played phenomenal. Played out of his mind. Really proud of what he was able to do, right? Complete bounce back game statistically compared to, the game versus the Cards, which game versus the Cards was also a good game for Dak. He was definitely locked in, but it was really the red zone issues, right? Miscues, execution, drop passes, the whole team morale was down. So, if nobody's stats looked good at that game, but definitely yesterday, I think Dak just played one of the most efficient games of his career. He had a completion percentage over 80, right? I think it was like 86%. I mean, that's incredible. That's incredibly efficient. Incredibly efficient. And then I also put here. So when I was going through and looking at the wide receiver stats, all of them had near perfect stat lines. When I say near perfect stat lines, I mean that they pretty much, if they were targeted, they got the ball. The only outlier, CD obviously was 4 of 6, and Michael Gallup was 5 of 6. But everybody else that was targeted outside of Shoemaker, he went 0 of 3. But all the rest of the receivers, running backs, caught every single pass that Dak threw. And I think that obviously shows that Dak and his receivers are really locked in. When your receiver, but also them, that perfect stat line means that Dak was throwing on time, he was throwing on target. The balls were on time, on target. Couldn't have even handed them the ball any better. And Mike was actually asked about in his press conference. They were like, Mike, Dak has really limited the interceptions. What has he done? And he said exactly what I just said. I mean, he's like, he's been making incredible decisions. He's locked in, hasn't been rattled at all by the constant changes on the offensive line. And yeah, him and the receivers are locked in. So, that's what happens when you also Dak again is just getting that ball out of his hands so fast. And I'm just so glad because this is the new, if y'all want to say what has fixed Dak Prescott, right? It's the timing, right? This West Coast offense, which has allowed the routes to be perfectly timed to his feet. Dak can see and get that ball out quickly, right? He's not constantly waiting for routes to develop. He's having to hold the ball. Then his offensive line is breaking down. None of that stuff. So shout out to Dak Prescott because many will try to say, oh, he only had one touchdown, but when you look at the efficiency, when you look at the advanced stats, I just showed y'all next gen stats. I mean, he played your quarterback can't play any better than that. They really can't. So shout out to Dak Prescott because he definitely was the shining light on that offense. Was just in complete control of the game from start to finish. And so love you, Dak. Love you for you're my favorite player in the league of all time, past and present. So I'm really always happy for Dak when he can put on performances to show the league who he is. Then we have defensive player of the game or defensive unit of the game. So I'm choosing to recognize two people, a unit and a player, right? So I said defensive line. Okay, so I want to recognize the defensive line. The defensive tackles, and we have a clip to show you, but I'm going to say this and then we'll show you the clip. But the defensive tackles in this game were really relentless in attacking their keys and allowing those linebackers to flow and make plays. I already showed y'all, how Mozzie, Jonathan Hankins was able to keep those linebackers clean, and they were able to flow to their plays and flow, read and react without having to sift through trash. So I'm very, very, and that comes from the defensive tackles, guys. Your linebacker play is literally tied directly to your defensive tackle play. So great job. But I really want to point out Neville. Now, I have not seen a game from Neville like this. And honestly, I want to say, I'm trying to think. I don't think I ever seen a game from Neville like this. Neville was, if you go back and watch the film, he was in the backfield all game. And I think during the press conference, it was pointed out, I believe, during Dan Quinn's press conference, I think it was pointed out by Patrick. No, Seawalker, I might be mistaken, but Neville, I mean, wow, you really, really saw that's why we drafted him, because of his quick step, the quickness, but he just hadn't for these past few seasons been able to put it together. But yesterday, I really saw Neville put it together, And I thought, wow, if we can get this. I've always said with Neville, his issue is consistency, right? He'll be good for a play, and then he's bad for 3 or 4 plays, and he's good. He was just in that backfield. That was the most complete, consistent game I've ever seen from Neville Gallimore. Veep, if you can play that clip that I had sent you of Neville. I hope, I think I sent it to you. Let's see. Should be there. Yeah, I sent it to you. Yeah, it's definitely from Patrick Nosey that had it. Do you have the clip, Beat? Okay, I'm gonna just keep rolling. I don't know if Veep can hear me or not, but let me see. Okay, let me just keep rolling. I don't know what's going on with the clip. Anyway, so also Edges played phenomenal, disciplined. They were not sack chasing, but they because of their discipline, they were allowing secondary to make plays, right? And really knocked Mac Jones off of his key all game. I had said earlier in the show, Mac Jones' passer rating when he was pressured was 20%. So they were really knocking Mac Jones' timing completely off. And because he was doing things like that, then that, like I said, resulted in the secondary being able to make plays. I.e. going to our defensive player of the game, Deron Bland. I say 2 interceptions, 1 was a pick 6. What else is there to say? There's not much else to freaking say. Just a phenomenal game from him. Dan Quinn spoke about him in the press conference as well, saying, Al Harris, Dan Quinn talked about him and Mike McCarthy. Mike McCarthy said he remembered during the draft, he was asking Will McClay, like, why is he dropping like this? Because he actually did a 30 visit with us, and they were very high on Bland. So Deron Bland definitely, we got him in the 5th round, but I think they had him graded like a 4th or a 3rd round pick, right? And so for him to his ball skills, and then Dan Quinn talked about his ball skills, like it's just those instincts, you just really cannot coach that. It's either you got the hands or you don't. If you that pick 6 that he had, I mean, that is wide receiver catching that he did. I mean, just it just blew my mind just to see just the amount of focus, right, and control. Because many DBs, they drop that. They can't catch that. So shout out to Deron Bland for really being locked in. And Dan Quinn was talking about how Deron, he saw him make that play and he made it. He had the mental smarts to say, if he tries that again, I'm going to get him. And that's exactly what he did. He tried that again, and Deron Bland made sure he was in a perfect position. When I say try that again, that Mac Jones throwing across the field, that is a big quarterback no-no. You do not do that. He got away with it once, and Deron Bland made sure to make him pay for it. So shout out to Deron Bland for that performance. Shout out to the defensive line for that performance. Just phenomenal from those guys. 10 out of 10 performance from the defensive line and from Bland. Okay, let's see here. Okay, this is my last slide, guys. And then we're going to be out of here. So, things we want to improve on versus San Fran, which is the biggest game of the year. This is Sunday night, prime time. All eyes will be on us. This is the biggest game of the year, guys. This is the biggest game on our schedule. We are really going to test out what this team is. We are really going to see what this team is versus San Fran. Somebody put out, this game is going to determine who's number 1 in the NFC. Is it San Fran or is it the Dallas Cowboys? I mean, I don't know how much I can emphasize it enough about how big this game is. So, things that we want to improve on, right? Red zone efficiency, that's been one. It's been one for the past 2 weeks. We still need to improve on it. This week, the plays were there, right? But we still went 1-4 in the red zone. We thought that touchdown to CD was in the red zone, but it was just outside of the red zone. So, we had too many free rushers on Dak in the red zone. We're like right there inside the 5, and someone just comes free and is blowing Dak's head off. He's under instant pressure. We cannot have that. I don't know if that's missed assignments or Mike McCarthy just not scheming and making sure right protection, or Dak not sliding the line. I don't know what it is, but we have to fix that. Like, Dak can make plays, but you can't have free rushers coming straight for his head. We can't have in the red zone. We cannot have that, right? We also had mixed assignments in the pass protection for sure, and then mental blunders. For instance, the thing with Tony Pollard, Dak thought he was going to hand it off to the left. Tony Pollard thought he was doing it to the right, and then it was a busted play. We had to kick a field. So we cannot have that. Gotta be locked in. The plays were there. It was just miss things. We need the offense to put it all together in this red zone. At this point, I think the offense is just overthinking it. I think the players are overthinking it, right? And then it's resulting in the breakdowns. Now, highlight: Hunter Lipke broke the curse just as I said he would. I put it out on TikTok this week and all my social medias that Hunter Lipke was the key to the red zone. I was the first one to say it 2 to 3 weeks ago. I know there's bigger content creators than me that started saying it after our last week loss versus Arizona, but I was saying it way before then. And Hunter Lipke actually broke the freaking curse, got his first touchdown of his NFL career. So hopefully Mike was able to see what he was able to do down there and continue to use him down there, because I think he really is the key. The reason why Kellen Moore has such a high success rate in the red zone was because of Ezekiel Elliott. We had a guy who could just punch it right on in at the 1 or the 2 or the 3 yard line. We had a guy who punched it right on in. And I think Hunter Lipke is that guy. Hunter Lipke he's got the quickness and the shiftiness to even score further out from, like, he doesn't have to be at the 1 or the 2 to score, So Hunter Lipke, hopefully we see more use of him in the red zone. I would also like to see, some leak outs. And so I've said that leak outs, quick passes to Hunter. Hunter can catch that ball out of the backfield. You saw it in the preseason versus the Raiders, and then you saw it all over his college film. So I really hope Mike starts to utilize him out of the backfield, just like the 49ers do. What's the 49ers fullback? I can't think of his name, but hopefully we start to use Hunter a lot more in that red zone. Also, I would like to see Mike dial up more plays for Deuce in this area. Deuce got 9 carries, but he only got 9 yards. It didn't seem like Mike was getting very creative. It seemed like we were just basically running the clock out, so he was just running him up the middle. I would assume that was on purpose, because we were just basically just running the clock out, so we really weren't trying to get yards or anything like that. But I would really like to see Mike dial up some actual packages for Deuce. He said that he had packages for him versus the Cardinals, but the game just didn't go that way. So hopefully we can see some packages for Deuce. I think this is a great game to do it, because I think, especially with Rico going down with that hip bruise, I don't know if he'll be active or not. So I think we really should give Deuce a little bit more tick during this game. I think shout out to Coach Marv, great content creator, OG, who was saying that the one player that San Fran is scared of is the guy that he got hurt in last year's playoff game, and then literally the playoff game before that, he only got 4 carries. So we should really highlight Tony Pollard, but also I think we could highlight Deuce as well. we could really highlight those running backs as well in this game, especially because of the type of defense that the 49ers play. It's definitely going to be a lot of like underneath, take what the defense gives you, kind of similar to how we had to play the Patriots. So hopefully we get those guys involved. Tight end 2 play. Going back and reviewing the film of Shoemaker, now he flat out just dropped that touchdown in the first quarter. So that's unacceptable. But the other, he was only targeted 3 times and he went 0 for 3. But the other 2 passes were almost intercepted because the linebacker just kept quickly jumping into the lane. So I don't really put that on Shoe. He was in the right position. I mean, you can't help if a linebacker just jumps out of nowhere and just like bats the pass down or almost interception. So he didn't have that bad of a game. So honestly, I think, we just need, maybe we can draw up some crossers and stuff for him. Shoe had a very high, he ran the crosser like almost more than any tight end in the league was when he was in college. So I would like to see Mike kind of dial up some of those plays for him as well. Just like he kind of dialed it up for Ferguson so that we can see more of his athletic ability. And then safety, last but not least, guys, safety play. I don't know what's been going on with Dono and Curtis, and I do know Dono was second in tackles, but those two just have not looked right to me at all. They're just not really looking like themselves. Curtis is not really seeming like the tight end whisperer anymore. Always catching yards on them. Plays very soft, not really physical. I don't know what's going on with them, but I would like to see our young guys get more tips. Wanye, he did play more in this game, so shout out to Dan Quinn, but he needs more snaps than what he got. I would like to see Wanye play more, and I would like to see Izzy sit up. I'm tired of seeing Izzy in sweatpants. He doesn't need to be in sweatpants. He's too dynamic of a player. His quick hips, his speed, the high IQ. I want to see these guys rotated in. Hopefully Dan Quinn sees that. I know he loves Dono and Curse, but it seems to me, I spoke about it last week, are we getting to a favorites issue with Dan Quinn? That's what it seems like to me. That you're willing to keep Dono and Curse on the field at all costs, even though their play is not really up to par. I mean, I don't know how many games he's going to really give it, but I would really like to see more from our young safeties. Wanye and Izzy, I would like to see more of them versus Sanford. We're going to need to see them on the field more than Sanford. Because Dono and Curse are just something that's not right with them. Dono and Curse, if you're watching this, hopefully it pisses you off and y'all lock in. But I just haven't seen the Dono and Curse that I'm used to seeing. So those are the things that I would like to see improved so that we can dominate San Fran. If y'all catch into my shows, for the rest of this week, I'm going to be talking more about this and matchups and stuff like that. But we really, really, really got to focus in this week, guys. We're happy about the win versus the Patriots, but now we're on in San Francisco. And we got to lock in against this team. If there's any game that is a must-win on our schedule, it is this game. We must win this game at all costs. This is the one team in the NFL that has shown us twice that we cannot beat them, and I think that we can beat this team. I firmly believe the only reason why we lost in the past was because of Kellen Moore. We got rid of Kellen Moore, so there should be no reason that we lose against them on Sunday. No reason at all. But anyway, guys, thank you so much for rocking with me here, Stargazer Sports, for my 10th episode. I'm really grateful for you guys. Please follow me on my social medias. Please donate to my channel, as you see in the banner below. Love you guys so much, and hope to see you again next week. Y'all have a good night.